Here we go. Here we go. Um, kind of kind of exciting. I think possibly breaking news. I guess I've got the Past and Future box narrowed to a a pretty good area. If I was a little bit closer, I would say if you're a day trip or a weekend trip, this area might be worth it to go. It's still, I mean, the area that I'm looking at is like I think about 8 hours away from me. So I want to narrow down a little bit more before I get out there. But it's a pretty compelling area. So I'll tell you the area first off, and then I'll get into how I got there. So it's no surprise I've been focused on Kentucky for a while, and the last two Past and Future video solves kind of explained how I got down there. But I haven't really narrowed down Eastern Kentucky until yesterday or the past 2 days. Had some breakthroughs in my mind that helped me narrow down. So now we're looking at Red River Gorge area, which is huge. That's not narrowing down, but found a road called Red River Road. All right, three R's that'll come into play later in the video, and I think it's pretty significant. So we're looking off of Red River Road, and off of Red River Road, there's a section of well, it's there's a falls, Sal Falls, Sal Falls, which again I'll explain later. But I'm just telling you the area first, in case I don't know you just want to drive off and go get it or something. So Red River Road, Sal Falls, and then there's three arches kind of around there. You have Princess Arch, you have Moonshiner's Arch, you have Arch, Arche. You've got Courthouse Rock, which is in the area. So that's the area. I've posted a map. I'll post the map again. But that's kind of the area we're looking at in Eastern Kentucky. It's about I think an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Lexington, which is also going to be significant. Okay, so now that we have the area kind of explained, now I'll kind of explain how I got there. And this is a point to note, I think. Hey, what's up, Chase? A point to note, I think, is so I've been saying for a while that I don't think I'm believing JCB when he says you don't need to be a genius to solve these. And I think that JCB, it's not even that I think, it's that you can read his writings, and if you're taking his writings at face value, which I think is important, take his interviews at face value. You know, he was a member, a hunter for Forrest Fenn. You know, he did that for at least almost a full 4 months, like full time, and then off and on because he had a kid for like 4 months, 4 years after that. But more importantly, he saw how that ended, right? He was a bystander on the sidelines for the court cases, the accusations, the Discord drama, all that. And so, having been a part of that, I think it makes sense naturally that he would try to avoid that for his. So I think that's pretty important to notice. And so in designing these boxes, at some point or another, one box is feeling very good. Thank you, man. Feeling a lot better. That cold seems to be gone. I think at one point or another, a box will be found, right? I think we can mostly agree that one box will be found eventually. And so when that box is found, he has an option as a creator for how that's going to play out, how the public is going to receive that. When he releases the solve, he said he did. He said it in K-Pro's interview. He said that. Yeah, Jennifer. So when a box is found, and he said he's going to release the solution, everyone's going to react to that. How's the reaction going to be? Are they going to say, "Oh, you said no grand ciphers. This is so complicated. You said you didn't need to be a genius. I would never got that," right? Or is the public going to react, "Oh, you know what? That solve makes sense. I may not have gotten there. I may not have thought that way, but that solve makes sense." All right, the general public. All right, there's always going to be the people who aren't happy about it, but it's important to note that as a creator, as someone who is selling books, someone who's made his business, right? He's self-publishing these books. He's probably going to do something else. He's setting up a publishing company. You don't set up a publishing company just for one book, so he wants to be published more, either for other authors or for himself. Does he want a taint? Does he want this this hunt to be associated with something unpleasant or any kind of bad press? No. He's going to want the solve to be easier, right? So take that all in mind. Take that all in mind for how. Take that all in mind for how the solve is going to go. Okay, so I'm thinking about that. I'm approaching the word search that way. Okay, I've got the map, the South Carolina, Tennessee, all that map. I don't think that that's very complicated out of the way. I think most people would see that. All right, so Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. Again, my other video goes into all this. Massachusetts in the corner. Most people will say, okay, hey, you know what? I didn't think that that map was significant, or I didn't get there, but I see it. It makes sense. Makes sense. That's clue number one. All right. Number two. Clue number two is the statey state. All right. So statey state. Hey, in a word search, how many word searches do you know that use the same word twice? Not that many that I know of. This one uses three twice and state twice. And statey state is actually like touching where the E is. Okay. So statey state, I say that's significant. Okay. If he puts out his clue, his solve, if he puts out his solution, and it uses the map and statey state, I think most people are going to agree, okay, you know what? I see that. All right. So those two, I'm locked in. All right. And with those two, you narrow down the West Virginia, Kentucky, depending on your scale, Indiana, Ohio. We're looking at that area. Okay. So now we need to find out the other three. I made a pivot the last couple days. I made a pivot from there are no, I'm sorry, I made a pivot from three are on special bins and turns. And why I made that pivot is I was just listening to some feedback, had some really engaged, productive discussions. Okay, if the word no is in there, you know, it's two letter word, whatever, but why wouldn't it be anagrammed? Every other word is anagrammed. Why would no be the only word that isn't flipped? It's just use it as is. And some people use line, but I don't. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's go ahead and pursue that road. All right. So instead of three are on special bins and turns, why not do it? There are no. All right. So no special bins and turns. So that led me down. Now I need to find three other clues, because in my first video, the three clues are on special bins and turns, and I'm using Satoshi Tech, I'm using Play Basic C, and I'm using Ready Player One. All right. So let's table those, put those over to the side, and now we're looking for three clues that are up. All right, what does up mean? Three are up. Does it mean vertical? All right. I really like that idea. All right, count 11. Count 11 is all the way on the left. It's vertical. But why would you use count 11 and not bring in the three? If you don't have the word search in front of you, or if you haven't done some work on the word search, I apologize. This next 10, 15 minutes is going to be a little bit not important to you, which that's fine. Save this video for later. But if you're clued into the word search, if you have it in front of you, you might find this interesting, okay? And so count 11, which I put count 11 parentheses, count 14, because why would you use count 11 and not bring in the three that's only 4 lines over? What are we counting? All right, this all ties into the theory, the theme of the book, which JCB in 2 interviews now recently in the last couple of weeks has mentioned his chapters have themes. Find the theme, all right? So the theme for this one, he tells you what the theme is, all right? This isn't new. He refers back to this chapter, which you always want to pay attention to. An author refers back to a chapter as a few games. And he does that at the end of the Appalachian chapter. He mentions, hey, the last 3 boxes I've covered a poem, a story, and a few games, all right? That's how we're thinking. So we're thinking of games. We're thinking how to play the word search. All right, count 11. Count 14. What are we counting? Well, it's a word search. It's got words. Let's count the words. So let's count down from the top, right? 19 lilac. Let's count down. So depending on how you count, if you're in the vertical words also, which I try it both ways. So you get a different depending on if you count top down, you get 4 different words, all right? You'll get 5, you'll get square, you'll get peak, all depending on how you count, okay? Again, we're counting 11 or 14. I don't want to rule anything out, so we're counting both. All right, so the next clue for up is, thanks, man, Shadow of Hack Zone. So the other one is the triple R's, all right? There's double letters in a word search. That's fine, it happens. Triple letters seems to be intentional. And in this word search, there's a couple different triple letters. All right, so you have, well, there's triple O's, there's triple E's, and triple R's. All right, of the triples going vertical, there's triple O's looking vertical, but there's also triple R's going vertical. So I circled that down and I put that over in a possible up clue. And so now we've got two of the up clues that are laid out, formatted vertically, right? Count 11 or 14, depending on how you're looking. We've got the triple R's that are lined up vertical, right? The next one I got is I'm looking at the top half of the word search, all right? Because up can mean a few different things. It could mean laid out vertical, or it could mean up on the map, all right? So I've got looking up on the top, we've got North Round, we've got Waterline, you've got 19 Lilac put together. I've tried out all those, and the only one that really stood out to me was Waterline, all right? North Round, I pocketed it. Maybe it'll be clue number 4. We're only looking for 3, but there could be. JCB says that if you do the word search, you'll have plenty of what you need to find the treasure. Plenty of what you need. What do you need to find treasure? You need clues. So I think that there's more than 5. I'm pretty comfortable saying that there's more than 5. All right. So the 3 that I'm using, all right, we have Waterline, we have Count 11, which if you play that, if you count that, it gives you peak, square, or 5, and we've got the triple R's. Now the next part, what took about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours on a computer in front of just Google, in front of searching, which here's how I feel about Google. Again, most of my information now, because we've all had the book and we've all had it for a while, is going to be from interviews that he's telling us. All right, I'm going over them religiously. I'm watching them 4 or 5 different types. Yeah, five layers. There's a lot of things that have to do with 5 layers. I mean, there's 5 different clues. There's 5 steps to unlock the box. There's the word 5 in there. If you count 11 the horizontal words, you'll get 5. I do think that 5 is significant to this puzzle. All right, so JCB has mentioned several times this is an analog adventure. All right, did maybe, I don't know, until they invent smellophone, you wouldn't be able to smell it. But JCB has said several times that he wants this to be an analog adventure. Right, so he's mentioned you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to. There's no grand cipher. So I'm debating how deep I want to go into Google phone rabbit holes, because I don't think that he would do that. In his book, he's very intentional about describing things. He'll mention a historical document and then he'll tell you about it. He describes how Pokemon was created and then he tells you about it. He mentions Ready Player One, then he tells you about it. It's a pattern that's repeated. It's repeated in the book. He tells you about something, but instead of having you go do it, he tells you what you need to know. That's how I'm taking it. So my kind of rule is, if I have to Google rabbit hole something for more than 30 minutes, I just stop, because I don't think that that's the intention of the point. Again, when the box is found, when the first when the first solution comes out, if he says, "Hey, you had to do this, this, and this, and then you had to Google for an hour to find this, and this is the solve," I think he's going to get some pushback and some feedback on that, and I think that wouldn't want that. An easy way to avoid all that is just tell us what we need to know in the book. It's 200 something pages, right? It's massive. What's adding an extra page or two? What's a couple of other paragraphs for us to get the information we need? All right. No, I'm not a hacker. So, which I think is important. He doesn't want you to be a hacker. He does not. He doesn't want you to have all that deep knowledge. All right. So, with the clues that I have, when I did my Googling, I didn't spend too long. I didn't go down too many rabbit holes. I stuck to pretty much the front 2 pages. If I had to scroll 5 or 6 pages down in Google to find something, I don't think it's going to be relevant. And I'm just using this as a crutch. If anything I find isn't visible on a map, he's mentioned maps so many times, so many times in interviews, so many times in the book. It plays very heavily to this theme. So I think if anything that I found on Google can't actually be found on a map, that's how I imagine he wants us to spin. He wants us to, go back to analog, go back to maps in front of you, exploring, looking over every inch of the detail. I'm just using Google to cheat and speed that up a little bit. Exactly, Chase. Yeah, that's my point that I'm making. Anything he wants you to know about Ready Player One, he tells you. He lists the games. He lists 4 out of the 8 games played. Why 4? Why not 3? Why not 5? Why not 6? Because those are the 4 that are important. All right. There's so much that's in Ready Player One. So many rabbit holes available to go down to. I don't think he wants you to go down there. The whole Past and the Future movie thing was cool, but he never mentions that in the book. So I really, I don't I'm very careful with the words. I'm not discounting. I don't want to insult anyone who's going down that road, because they may get to the same result, just a different way. Just me personally, I'm not doing that. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. He recommends we read it. He recommends we read a lot of things. In each of the chapters, he almost recommends we watch, read, or view something. And again, I'm taking that as just surface level, because if the clue for the lion's share comes out and it's you had to do all this reading when it's in the book, I don't know. I'm just I know there are people that are doing that, and I'm not discrediting it. I'm happy they are, because that means I don't have to. So I'm just kind of I structure my solutions and my problem solving surface level. I try to stick to the book as much as possible. I try to stick to maps whenever possible. Which let me get to the good stuff. All right. So 3 clues that are up. We're looking at Eastern Kentucky. You can find this on a map. I found it on Google, and then I found it on a map. But RRR Red River Road. It's about an hour and a half outside Lexington, which find places that he loves. I think he hid stuff in parks that are special that he's been to, that have a connection to him. His name is associated with some property in Lexington, so he spent some time in Lexington, Kentucky. All right, so this road, Red River Road, you can find it. You can Google it. It's there's a lot of good things that go through it. It goes through Red River Gorge, all right, which is very, very beautiful. If you type in Red River Gorge, Kentucky onto Google, you'll find all kinds of beautiful, amazing pictures. My meaning on life, I might do another video on what I think the meaning of life is. But that's not today. That's not right now. Count 11. So we're looking for peak, square. We're looking for 5. The highest peak in Kentucky is Black Mountain, which I was clued into Black Mountain a little bit. You can drive right to the top. My thing with Black Mountain is, and again, if you live in Kentucky and love Black Mountain, please don't hate on this. It's just my opinion. I don't think it's breathtaking or beautiful. And the pictures I saw were from the fall, so everything looks a little bit drab in the fall. Maybe in the spring, I'll change my mind. So for context, I'm not trying to brag or flex, but I've seen some pretty cool natural sights, right? Been to the Grand Canyon, mind blowing. Been to the highest point on the East Coast, Mount Mitchell, really cool. Been on the West Coast, been up and down California. Love that state; it's beautiful. Been to Bridgeport, worldwide. China, Great Wall. Been to Thailand, Vietnam. Seen all the cat islands. I've seen a lot of cool stuff. Is the point I'm trying to make without coming across as whatever. Black Mountain is not anywhere on the top 1,000 of the list. So I think it's very important that, again, he has a choice. He's sending you out to 5 places in the States. Boxes will be found, some of them eventually. When the solution comes out, if it's, hey, I hid one of my box in this random gorge in the Potomac Potomac Valley, and people go and look at it, and it's such a plain sight. I don't think that that's his intention. I don't think that's his goal. I don't think that's how he wants his legacy to be left. I think, hey, leaving 5 boxes in 5 epic American locations, that's going to be positive. That's going to be great for everyone, great for the national parks. It's going to be great for, Sanchez. It's going to be great for everyone, all right? So I keep that in mind for possible solves and possible solutions. That's one thing I do like about Tahoe. The Tahoe solve is Tahoe's a beautiful place. It's beautiful all year round. So it would make sense for him to have something in Tahoe, all right? So in Kentucky, there's a few really pretty natural areas. The Daniel Boone National Forest, the Red River Gorge is one of them. So now that the clues are seeming to me to focus us in the Red River Gorge area, I like that. All right, count 11, peak, square, 5. So we just counted Black Mountain, even though it's the highest peak in Kentucky because it looks mid. I don't know. But there are several peaks. There's Courthouse Rock near this area, which is really, it's really iconic, the way it looks. It's very square at the top, which square is another one of our buzzwords. All right, there's 5 arches that are around it. 5 is another one of our buzzwords we're looking for. So I like that. I think count 11, count 14 has some viability as a clue here. The last one, waterline. All right, and I have liar in parentheses next to it because on the word search, I think it's significant when words are paired together. I still want to find a use for 12 divided by 3. I still want to find something for that. Haven't found it yet. but north round are together, but water and line are together. And so I think water line. What do you call a line of water? A river. All right, that's just how I took it. There's a lot of rivers in that area. And a lot of the rivers are actually really straight. Um, all right, this will bring me to Sal Falls, which if you're following along, writing down notes, well, it's SAL Falls. So this one is pretty interesting because the word search, how I took it and how a lot of other people take it, will get you to a general area. It's not going to find the box when you solve the word search. A general area. From there, you have to go boots on the ground, and that's where you bring in the cryptogram, the bottom part. All right, which starts off from strong the stream. If we're following his logic that we've used for this solve, that I've used for this solve, and if we're following his logic that you don't need to be a genius or super deep rabbit holes, one of the more obvious interpretations of from strong the stream is a waterfall. I think that's pretty. It's not a really hard leap to make. If that comes out as a true solution, I think most people will nod their heads and go, "Okay, yeah." If it's too obscure, he will get some pushback, which I don't think he wants. So now that I've narrowed down to a general area, I've got a road. I'm looking for waterfalls, and there are a bunch of waterfalls off there. I found a I found a waterfall not far from from Black Mountain called Bad Branch Falls, which I really liked. But looking at videos and images there, it just wasn't an impressive waterfall. Which again pulls back if he's going to send you somewhere. If the box is going to be near someplace, I think it'll leave an impression on you when you see it. All right. So that's I'll put that in the pocket. That's I don't like the area, but if you want to explore another area, Kentucky, Bad Branch Preservation, at Bad Branch Falls. It's right near the Kentucky border, so it actually matches up pretty close to the crosshairs. I don't like the area, so there are I put up a map. There's a bunch of things that fit it, but I don't know. Explore that for later. But South Falls is really cool. It's not, if you Google top 10 waterfalls in Kentucky, it's not even on the top 10, but it's like listed in the 20s, which is still pretty impressive. So it kind of fits a lot of these things. It's there's I think it's a 1 mile, maybe less of a mile hike to get there. But the hike to get there isn't a named hike, depending on what trail you use. It's named that when you go there, boots on the ground in person. But if you're trying to find out Google Maps, it's not a named trail. But it's good. So water line, a lot of the rivers are vertical. A lot of the streams and creeks are actually like vertical. Liar, there's in this area off of a road in Red River Gorge. If you look at all the creek and river names, it's incredible. I wish I was as big as Vin Diesel. There's so many river names, and a lot of them do have ties to liars or falls. So here's a fun fact for liar. I didn't end up using this clue. It's clue number like 4 or 5, but this came from a riddle. So if you're looking for north round, or if you're looking for a round liar, if you're trying to riddle a solution for those, a round liar is a coin. Hear me out, because coins are round, circular, duh, and coins are two-faced. All right, so I thought that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't think the coins are a vital clue. I think that they're a marker or a confirmer. So I'm not using that as one of my 3 clues. I'll have that in the back of my mind, that the clue is that the angle on the coin is significant. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. That a riddle, what's a round liar? A round liar can be a coin, because a coin is circular and round, and it's two-faced. All right. So I thought that was pretty cool. Is there a coin names or coin significance? No, but the angle matches with a lot of the rivers that are in that area. So this video is going on for pretty long, 25, 24 minutes. That's pretty much the gist. To summarize, all right, I changed the word search. Instead of looking for clues that are on special bins and turns, I'm now looking for clues that are up or clues that are vertical oriented. And so from there, I got, hey, thanks, Dusty, appreciate it. So from that, I got the triple R's, which are, if you're looking on the word search, it's the bottom right, I think is where they are. 3 R's in a row. Triple R's led me to Red River Road. All right. I'm looking for water line, which there's a lot of rivers that are actually vertical in that area. And a lot of the words have significance. I'll let you figure that out. It'd be a really long video if I went to each and every single creek and river and stream that's mentioned in this area. And count 11 or 14, depending on how you use it. There's Peak Square in 5. The actual road, Red River Road, right past Sal Falls, it makes 3 edges of a square. Like the road is just, I guess it's going around some hill or something, but it goes up, over, and down. Courthouse Rock, which is right near the area, is very square. At the top, there's a couple peaks around here. I mean, the whole area is on the edge of like the Cumberland Mountains or the Cumberland Gap, which is right there on the foothills of the Appalachians. So those are all, that's how that's relevant. And 5, there's a bunch of 5 geographical features that are near the area, but I'll let you explore that out. So if you think you're feeling Kentucky, and if you're looking for an area, I recommend Red River Gorge. I recommend looking on Red River Road. Oh, the last thing was the arches. All right, because one of the last clues in the cryptogram is it's going to be over, under, between, and the natural arches in the area, they fit that pretty well. I mean, you can look at pictures. Just type in Red River Gorge arches, and there's dozens of them all in the area, and you'll see people standing over, under, and in between. All right. Do I think that he's going to put the box on the arch itself or contacting it? I would lean not to, unless it's one of the lesser known ones, because the arches are such tourist destinations. People go to Kentucky for the arches. They go to the national park for the arches. Kids are climbing around. People are climbing around. I don't know if I'd put it on the arch. Maybe just off the trail right nearby. If it is in the arch, I'd look for rock piles that he put it in. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, the video will be titled Past and Future Solve. I think it makes a lot of sense. A couple other questions that were asked that had no relation to the video, I'll answer now, because now I can go, my stream of thought is shut off. The painting is actually done by my aunt's partner, who passed away from cancer recently. So she, one of her last things that my aunt did was she gave out some of the paintings to the family members. Her theme was, she had a lot of the themes were feminine in nature, I guess I'll say. Motherhood, the female expression. I don't know. I'm not an art critic. I don't really understand all that, but the colors kind of matched our guest room. It's we have a lot of themes and paisleys in here, so we put it up here. I don't know. But yeah, that's where the painting was from. I don't think any other video questions were asked in the comments. A couple minor trolling, which are always fun. Messy, all that. Yeah. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. I'll see you guys on Discord. I'll see you guys later on tonight. Watch Calazar's video. My soundboard wasn't picked, so kind of bummed for that. I thought it was a good one. But vote and watch. All right.